now we are live. Hello, hello. So today is I'm switching it up again, and I really need to get some cosplay animal ears done. So that's what we'll be working. You're kind of hopping in right at the at in the middle of my process of how I make these little animal ears. Uh they're all glued together, and now I just need to cut the fur. So, yeah. So first what I do when I cut the fur, so normally traditionally with these ears, how you cut the fur is you use like what is it called? Like a shear or like a razor, and like, but I found a way to keep them extra fluffy by doing it with scissors. Also, I came up with this because at the time I was like, well, I'm trying to use what I have on hand, and I'm like, I didn't have that, but how about I use like some scissors? So what I do is sharing my process. Ah, hello, Win. How you doing? Ah, and it's Nacho. Hi, Nacho. How you guys doing? Yeah, so as I was saying for these ears is that, so I brush them all out so all the fur is nice and fluffy. And then I find my part. So this right here is the inside of my ear. And I will want some ear fluff, so I'm going to push that off to the side. And I'm also going to want some inside ear fluff, so I'm going to push that onto the ear, onto the side too. And some bottom ear fluff. So I'm going to make my part, especially in the corners. We want the corners of these ears nice and fluffy. I think that's going to be the word of the day today is fluffy. And so as you notice, I have parted my ear fur. And there's some, like, kind of like, there's two sections basically of these ears that I have separated. Doing good, Win. Doing good. I feel a little teeny frazzled today, I will be very honest. Just a lot going on in my head and a lot going on today. I was going to work on painting today, but I have to get these ears done. So I'm like, you know what? Why not just work on ears while streaming? So now, basically what I do is, oh, okay. For a second, I thought my camera was fuzzy, and I'm like, huh? So now that I have the two sections separated, I'm going to take the section that I'm going to cut short, which is on the outsides of my ears, and I'm going to stand it up tall and straight. High quality fur will do this pretty easily. And then I want to make sure I'm at a good angle. There we go. Hold on. Adjusting my camera. There we go. Now I'm going to take some scissors. These scissors are specifically for hair, like real hair. I use them for my wigs, and I use them for my fur, and they work really good. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to cut. And when I'm cutting, I'm kind of also sculpting the shape of the fluff. I'm having fun with it. Not cutting all of it away, I'm just shaping it. Be very careful cleaning off the scissors. And then this, I have a trash can at my feet where I dump that. And for the inside corners of the ears, kind of like where they fold over on top of themselves, I section it off again so it stands up straight. And this time I'm cutting it, but I'm cutting it in the intention that it's going to be long. Just something like that. And then we fold it over. And as you see, now it has like that natural kind of ear fluff. When I fold it in, it's kind of like little fuzzy. But yeah. Oh man. Oh my gosh. When you've been up for a while. Well, make sure you take care of yourself and take a nap at some point of the time of the day. Yeah, I'm glad. I thought it'd be different because everyone's like a big fan of the ears and always wonders how I make them. So I thought, you know what, why not share the process? So for the backs of the ears, I always do higher up onto the corners and I make my part kind of like this swooping down motion. I want to leave it fuzzy in the corners. Now that I make my part, make it stand up. And I'm gonna cut just like I did with the inside part, like the middle inside. And I want to kind of keep it in mind that it's try to make it even, like keeping in mind. And this does take practice. I've seen how my ears have progressed, and the older ears kind of have like shorter chunks, longer chunks. So but I feel like I've gotten down to a rhythm now where I know how to make it where it's fairly even. And I'm constantly like moving them around too when I'm cutting, like which way does the ear, like does the hair go? Smoothing it out, trimming up anything that's slightly longer. Oh, hello. I see we have someone new. Is it WRIQ? I am I am so sorry. I have a spelling thing, but how you doing? Yeah, making some animal ears today. I make these for like shows where I go and sell them along with my other art, and I need to make some more, so like why not do it on stream? Rick. Oh, I see what you did with the spelling of your name, Rick. I got you. Now it makes sense in my head. That's clever. I like that. Hi, Rick. Yeah. Doing good. Yeah, so now I got one ear done. We can put that off to the side and start with the other ear. And it's very repetitive of how I cut these little guys. So that's why I'll like work. Usually when I'm doing these, I'm like watching a show or something. So I kind of know what I'm doing. And as you can see here, I have like some glue that kind of squished out when I glued them. And I take some scissors. You notice that these are not my hair cutting scissors. These ones are really sharp. They're actually meant for paper, but I found that they work really well on fur and cutting hot glue. And I go along the edge and I cut the glue that's kind of ugly. You can see I got like a little glue string there, and I just gonna cut that off. I gotta remember where my the viewing point square is right here. I tend to bring things really close to myself when I work. Yeah, and then I check all the edges, and while I check this too, I make sure that all my edges are fully glued down. Otherwise I have to go back and put a little dot of hot glue, which happens. Um, so I put the ears on headbands. I don't know. Oh, it's out of view, but I have some little ones up there. I can show ya. I have little fawn ears. So these ones will be cat ears, but I have, you can see that they're on a headband, and why I have the little tails of wire here is because I'll wrap them around onto the headband. And yeah. Yeah, I got also a lot of requests from people to make them onto hair clips. So I'm gonna look into how I can make those. I don't think my larger ears, because I have some pretty big ears, will go good with the hair clips just because of the weight. But these smaller ones, like what I'm working on right now, could definitely handle the weight of some little hair clips. So right now though, it's just headbands. Oh, nice. Thank you, Win, for making some new channels. Thank you, thank you. I think I saw those. Are you referencing the pet sharing one? Like share your pets. Yeah, I find actually something really satisfying about cutting the fur. I don't know, I just like shaping it. There we go. Yeah, that and vehicles. Thank you, Wen, for adding those chats. I think those will be a lot of fun. As a joke, I should post when I make new ears in the share your pets. That, or be really funny is when I have like the fuzz balls, that's the little fur that float around in my room. The new cosplay pets. And I try to give them as even as possible, so I have my other set here next to me. because you want your ears to be symmetrical, but obviously it can't be super perfect symmetrical. So they're all handmade, but I try to get them pretty close. So what I do here is, since I already have my line for how long the fur is, I try to line it up where I have it in the other one. Get it super similar. There we go. That's fairly similar, but it doesn't have, and then there we go. There we go. This new black fur here is new to me, and I really like it. It's really, really nice. I had the black fur I was working with before was even a longer hairs, and this one's kind of like a medium length, and I really like it. Not that the other length wasn't good. It's just now I found two that I like. It's like really soft and silky too. It's like really nice. Yep, and then I just go around and now you can see why I say that there's little hairs floating around everywhere in the room. You can totally see, like, oh my gosh. Now you see why I like also will randomly sneeze on stream because of all the little hairs flying everywhere. See, here we go. The new animal. The newest pet. Fuzzball. There we go. They look so cute and fluffy. So there are the black cat ears. Well, I think they're up for interpretation. A lot of people go like, which specific animals are those for? And honestly, I think it's really truly for whichever animal you're trying to like it, whatever animal you want it to be for. You know, these could be cat ears, they could be tiny wolf ears. I think it goes with how does the rest of your costume look. So I try to make my ears like pretty universal. But yeah, there we go. First pair done. All right, and then I have again, and these ones are like a light tan. So yeah. It kind of is. It is like a little barber shop a little bit. Meh. Going around the edges. And then I'll brush them out. I like brushing them out too because it really gets that hair like fluffy. It also gets rid of any loose hairs that came off when I was cutting it. Cutting like the fur from the like whole sheet of fabric. I remember this part used to take me so long to do, to cut all the fur, but now I've like made so many ears. I have like this whole system down. Like I get into a pattern, into a rhythm. Wait, hold on. I messed up. I knew I was messing up. This is the inside of the ear, and I was cutting it like the outside of the ear. Oops. There we go. See, that's the right. Yeah. Don't mess up the lefts and the rights here. Or the inside of the ear and the outside of the ear. That would not be good. No! Oh no, that's so poor. Is the bird okay, Nacho? Oh no. I hope the bird's okay. It flew away? Okay. Okay, good. Good, I'm glad the bird was okay. Oh my gosh, it always makes me so sad when birds hit the windows. I'm like, no. Well, that's good. Gosh, if Clove watched that, she'd be so excited. She'd be like, a bird came really close. And I was hoping to get to painting these ears today, but I don't think I'll be able to. Maybe. If you all like to see the process of all the ears, that'd be fun if, maybe I could show the full process one day. But yeah, let me do inside. So today's just a fur, just cutting the fur. I need a vacuum. Maybe. Yeah. I've seen cosplayers have those like where they have like a shop vac with like the very tunneled like fan. Like it's very like it's a fan that doesn't go everywhere. It's like very like sectioned off, and they will do that while like sanding the foam. And so they'll like be sanding something kind of like here, and then like the vacuum's like right next to them. And so it takes in all the foam dust so the foam dust doesn't go everywhere. And I think that's absolutely brilliant. It's so funny how these ears can go from looking like furry blobs to actual ears just by shaping the fur. Oh, that's nice, Win, that you actually have one. Hey, use it when you start foam smithing. Yeah, so look, got an ear done. And this one actually has some glue strands on it like the other ear. I know it looks like I'm just like throwing the fur onto the ground, but I swear I have a trash can at my feet. There we go. It's so funny too because comparing these ears to my like very first couple of pairs that I've ever made, the edges have gotten cleaner over time. Like not just cutting them, but like with the glue and everything. No, that's okay. I was like, does that need to be glued down again? So this is the inside of the ear. Making my part. And I want it pretty even to my other pair that I have. So let's see. Is that even? Yeah, that's pretty even. I don't know. Does it look like there's more hair here and here? Or is it? No, it's actually the same. Okay, cool. Yeah, and that's how when I make these, it's all assembly line. It really helps out when I get help too. Nacho helps me out a lot. My family helps me out a lot. Like the cutting the furs, something I do, but like the cutting and shaping the wire um, helps out a lot. I'll have, or even cutting the fur out of the fabric or cutting the foam pieces in between. So really, these ears are a team effort a lot of the time, especially when I have a big show coming up and I need to make a lot of them. So thank you for my team at home who helps me. It really does take a team. Nacho, did you put like a teeny little, is that a teeny tiny smiley face? It's a little smiley face. You are a big help. Thank you. Looks fine to me. Oh, when you were saying about the evenness, I see. I was like, what looks? I'm like, thank you. But like, make sure they're even. And then all right, getting it even. Yes, exactly. I will shout out to Nacho for helping me out when, especially when I need it. And there we go. And another pair done. And just like that. Exactly, another one. And I stack them and I put them off to the side. All right, let's switch it up. We did 2 tiny ears. Let's do some fox ears. Yeah! It's my newest arcane mug. So I got Bye, and then I got Jinx. I haven't made a post about this yet. I still have to like put the video and pictures together, but soon I'll be posting. But now it's my new favorite mug. All right. So now I got some little fox ears. You can see that the hairs don't go the way they're supposed to. With this part, doesn't matter because I cut it super short anyway. And for like, usually for these smaller pieces, I'll use like scraps. So I do what I can. But you'll see why it doesn't matter in a minute. I'll show you. But there's a lot of overlap that ends up happening. So I'm going to cut and trim. Yeah, what's cool about these fox ears is that I actually use 2 different kinds of fur. So it's not painted, it'll never fade. slightly different process than the rest of my ears, but they turn out super cool. Yeah, I mean, I've thought about it, but about doing the mugs because I think people would like it. But the only thing is that porcelain is really expensive, and also the process is long. So I put in a ton of hours. I think I put like 2 solid days worth of work into that one mug. Maybe it's like 2.5 just for a mug. And also too, the porcelain, the like I totally would, but people gotta like know what it is, you know? Um Porcelain powders and oils and all the materials for it is not your typical art supplies that you can just pick up like at a craft store or Michael's. Like you have to specially order it, and there's only like a couple of companies. Like there's like one in America, there's one in Brazil, and there's like another in Japan. And then that's it. That's all that's in the world. It's super rare and hard to find. Um so that makes materials expensive. I would like to do something though. I think that would be fun to take like a picture of that mug and like make them into stickers or something cool. I don't know though. We'll see. But anywho, getting back to the fox ears. So it's going to be the same exact process as like my other ears, where I go ahead and do long. I separate what's going to be short and what's going to be long, find my part. Like this. And then I cut. And now you can see why the tips of the fur doesn't really matter which way it goes, because it's going to be cut so short no one will ever know. And then just like the other ears, I just cut a nice sculpt. What's really cool about these two-tone ones is that there's no two exactly alike because of how I have to cut the fur. And it's basically two different pieces being glued together, so sometimes they slightly shift and they're all going to be slightly different. You know, actually, I'm really happy to be able to work on ears and stream today. This is fun. And then you can see that there's a glue tag. And I just go in with my scissors very carefully because I don't want to cut the actual fur. And I just pull it out. There we go. And now we got a fuzzy fox ear. I'm gonna take a lint roller to my table after this. Thank you, Win. Thank you. No, actually, with porcelain, you also need a kiln. Yeah. Not like a super special kiln. It's just any, like the same kiln used for ceramics can also be used for porcelain. Different temperatures though. It has its own form of like temperatures and how long it's gonna be in there for, and that kind of stuff. But nope, you need a, yeah. Porcelain also requires a kiln. It also requires a certain kind of ceramic, which is porcelain itself. Like this mug is made with porcelain, which is it's not ceramic. Um, okay, porcelain is a type of ceramic, but what's the difference is the grain of clay that they use. So porcelain has a finer grain of clay rather than, and it almost turns very glass-like. It has a lot of glass-like properties. It's thinner, it's glossier. It's when you touch it and like tap it with your nail, it's it almost feels like you're tapping glass rather than if you took like something like ceramic, which is a heavier type of grain of clay. It feels different. Um, it feels heavier. It feels thicker. And you can't paint porcelain on ceramic because the porcelain paint won't fuse, and you don't use glazes on either. So even the whole painting system, it's completely different. A lot of people are like, it looks pretty similar. Like, it's different. It's almost like saying acrylic paint is exactly like oil paint. It's like, no. Yes, you both paint. Yes, you use a lot of similar-ish techniques, but both paints behave differently. Yes, you both paint on canvas, but yeah, it's two completely different mediums. And porcelain's so rare, I think a lot of people try to go for what uh they know about the most, what's the most relatable, and ceramic is very common, very relatable. Um, it's um, mainstream. That's why I want to do more porcelain art too, because it's not many people know about it, and I think it's a really, really cool art form, and sadly it's dying, and I don't want it to die. Here I am making ears, and we're talking more about porcelain. Porcelain easier to blend with painting. I wouldn't say that, actually. Um, it's a completely, so you've seen if you've watched my other streams and my other videos of how I blend with oil painting. Um, you've seen how I do it. Well, and how I put down color and my techniques. Porcelain's completely different because if you overblend, you can actually remove color really easily. Also, if you use too much oil, it can melt and not fuse with the porcelain, which there was a couple of areas, especially on Vi, that I was worried was going to melt because I was trying to blend and it just, I accidentally was like, oh, this is getting too glossy. A couple of areas I had to completely remove and redo because I was worried about what was going to happen in the firing process. And it was tricky because I haven't touched porcelain in a long time. And I am so used to doing oil paint. So I'm like, wait, then I noticed I'd start doing an oil painting technique. And I'm like, wait, this is porcelain. I can't do that. I'm like, that's why it's not working. So it's actually, it's hard. Porcelain work is very hard. Um, it takes a lot of patience, concentration, skill, really advanced. It is not just for the beginner who is like, I've never painted before. I'll try this. Mm-mm. You have to know what you're doing. Um, it's a lot of fun though. A lot of fun. Maybe one day when we don't have the kiln up and running now, but when we do, probably in the wintertime, maybe I'll do a live stream where I'll do some porcelain painting and show you all. Also, too, with porcelain, you can't overwork your paint. It's basically like single brush strokes. So everything, like you can see from like the hair that I did on Jinx, those are all single brush strokes. Um, you can't go back because if you do, you remove paint. Then you have to repaint it. So it's and then also too you have to think of your steps. It's I relate it a lot to watercolor. Uh where in it's not loose and free flowing like watercolor by any means, but how it is like watercolor is with watercolor you lay down your color and you let it dry, and then you can go on to the second layer, make it your shadows a little darker, let it dry, and then go back and add in even darker colors and make like add more shadows and so on until the painting's done. Similar-ish to porcelain, but instead of drawing, you fire it. So I'll do all my extreme lights, get it fired, then go in with my medium colors, fire it, back in with my extreme darks, fire it again. So that's how that works. But yeah, that might actually be really fun to do on stream. Something completely different. Yeah, ceramics are really fun. I have not touched those since like high school. But it's fun. I've sculpted with clay. I've played with glazes. Yeah, I like playing with different mediums, learning different forms of art. I think that's why I have so many different passions and so many different projects, because I have appreciation and love for all these different forms. Oh, that's really cool, Win. That's really, really cool. Yeah, I'm sure with your mom being an art teacher, you could learn a lot from her too. I know you've told me that before, that she's taught you all kinds of different forms of art, which that's awesome. That's cool to have an art teacher in the family. Yes, I have. Yeah, your mom's really nice. She's a cool person. I could tell from the one conversation I had with her that she's super, super passionate about being an art teacher, which I think is really cool. All right. So now I'm gonna clean up my little fuzzball. Be gone, fuzzball. Be gone. All right. So I got the back done. Now going to flip it. Oh, yeah, I already did this side. Yeah, I got this like shorter fur, which is also new to me. This white fur that's short. Oh my gosh, I really like the texture that it makes in the middle. Like when you cut it, this right here. Oh my gosh. I'm like, this is cool. At first, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't too sure about it when I first got it out, and it was like just in the sheet, kind of like this, like feeling it, and I was like, I don't know about this fur that I just purchased. I hope it's good. And then once I like, and even on the ears, just fuzzy like this, I'm like, I don't know. But once I cut it and then like paint them and fold them and see them in the final form, I was like, oh, I like this fur a lot. This is cool. I'm definitely gonna keep this in my cart when I need more fur for these ears. Yeah, and see how like fuzzy this shorter fur is? Oh my gosh. It's squishy like a pillow. I know, so satisfying, right? Just seeing them being sculpted. I don't know, I do. Yep. And then there we go. And now now there we are. You know what, though? I don't like... Sculpt that a little bit. There we are. And I got some fox ears. Next, I'll have to come up with some fox tails too. But yeah, there we go. Yep, exactly, Nick Wilde, right here. Right here. Which reminds me, I need to make more bunny ears too. I have no bunny ear. Well, I have the floppy bunny ears, but I don't have the, I have none of the tall bunny ears left to make some of those. All right, so these are my big ears. Ooh. People have been asking for winter fox ears a lot lately, so I'm making some of those. And oh my gosh, the hour went by so fast. Okay, I think we're all finished up. I'll have enough time at least to do this one ear here. I hate to not complete a set in one sitting, but today is a busy day. I have a lot to do. And oh dang. Okay. Yeah, today's a busy day. So I'll just have time to basically cut this one ear, and then we'll call the stream there. Okay. I'm gonna cut this. I'm excited about these winter fox ears. I made ones that were smaller, the same size of the fox ears, the normal orange fox ears that I have, and they look so cool. I wish I made more. Sold instantly to someone who was very happy. I'm like, I kind of knew it. I thought they were cool too. Kind of wanted to make myself a pair, but I have like no winter fox cosplay to fit that. So, oh well. All right, and then I'm going same exact thing. So all of my ears really have the same same, I almost said pattern to them, but like formula, is that a good word? I don't know. It's like the same sequence, but just some are bigger and some are smaller. And that's the inside of the ear. We're all good. I go on a cut. Really? Oh, that's too funny. Yeah, Arctic foxes, something happened where they became like really popular. I remember I had one show and like so many people were like, "Do you have Arctic fox ears?" And I'm like, "No." Now I do. Like, maybe I need to make some. You know, it's funny where life takes you. I never thought in a million years I would be a, like, animal ear maker, cosplay animal ear maker. Never in a million years. Thought that was so. It's funny where life takes you, though. I'm happy though. I really like making these, so I'm glad that people like them. I think what brings me the most joy about making these ears is making other people happy. Like, because a lot of people want to cosplay, but they don't know how to make stuff, or they don't have the time, or they just don't even know where to start, or even the like, how do you make things, like the creativity. So it's fun that I love to make things and create, and here I can have this creation where someone can, you know, dress up and have fun and bring them joy, and it's such an easy costume too, you know, just a headband. I'm happy to bring those, like, other people joy like that. That is true. The Arctic foxes are absolutely adorable. It's already 11. I am going to, at least, like I said, I'm gonna finish cutting this one ear at least. And then we'll move on. Or I will move on with my day. Busy, busy. Yeah, like yesterday too. Yeah, I'm super excited. Yesterday I started working on video editing the trip to Level Up Expo in Vegas. So I'm super excited to work on that, and to eventually get those out there. It looks like I got so much footage, so it looks like it might be a three-parter. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Um, which I think will end up being better. Might as well put into separate episodes. So yeah, hopefully soon I'll be posting those. And also too, I have so much footage of me making stuff and that kind of thing, so I really want to finally get around to editing those and posting them. And again, with the help of Nacho, with his super master editing skills, helping me, where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So thank you, Nacho, for helping me again. right, and there we go. So much fur everywhere. It's like some crazy animal shedded all over the place. Definitely taking a lint roller to this table. But there we go. Okay, at least got one winter fox ear done. I think it looks already super cute. Ah, it's gonna be so fuzzy. Especially when I get the two done. Oh my gosh. There we go. So got some, at least some ears done today. That's good. You know what? Made good progress. Even though it was a short stream, only an hour, I think I worked quickly and got some good stuff done. Aw, thank you, Nacho. Thank you, Win. Thank you for joining me today. And thank you for just hanging out as I actually got some work done that I really need to get done. All right. Well, thank you again, and I will see. So next week I'll be here on Tuesday, same time, and we'll see what kind of art I'm working on, what kind of painting. Probably switch back to painting. But yeah, until then. Aw, thank you, Win. Thank you. All right, until then, I will catch you all next time. Alrighty, bye.